Because of that, tsellers.com has for the next 2 weeks put two of our most popular lead generators on sale. Our landing page and contact form combo generates better qualified leads for you with a regular price of $99 and now only $59. Our 30-second promo promotes exposure and lead generation. Normally is $129, now it's $89. Or get both bundled for only $125.
Well, good evening and welcome to Our 2 Cents. I am your host, Tom Sellers with tsellers.com. My regular partner, Frank Hostica, is on vacation this week. I tell you what, he has vacation happening. That's his thing. So hope he's having fun out there. And let's jump right into what we're going to do. Let me tell you a couple of quick stories. Haven't seen you guys in a couple of weeks. I missed out last week, and I meant to put a replay up, and I didn't. That's all on me. So last week, and this is some funny stuff, has nothing to do with what we do at Our 2 Cents, but I just thought somebody might get a laugh out of it. So I played in a golf outing that I play in every year. Actually, it's an outing I help put together every year. We're kind of proud of it. We had a good one, and I played with a good friend of mine. In fact, he's been on this show before, and we'll have him on again soon. He may tell the story different than me, but the results are the same. So we're playing golf, and I, like a good many of us, are an aged ex-athlete. We just don't get over that being competitive thing, even as hard as we try. And it was the first or second hole, and my buddy tees off, and I teed off behind him, and he beat me by a couple of yards. And I swear I heard, whether he said it or he didn't, I heard, "Is that it? Is that all you got?" And from then on, it was on the rest of the day. We had a lot of fun. We drove the ball. But here's the moral of the story. When I woke up on Saturday morning, my back was like a question mark. And how do you do that? Well, the answer is kind of a simple one, and also kind of goes to my point of sometimes being a little bit stupid. So what happened was, as we were going through the day and hitting the ball just as far as we could, I got to a point that I'd completely abandoned anything resembling mechanics in my swing. So near the end of the day, I literally was swinging the golf club with nothing more than my shoulders and my arms, and essentially corkscrewing myself into the ground. That's why my back is not happy with me today. So the moral of the story is, we can't do what we used to do years ago, so perhaps we should stop trying. Nah, I'll do this again. I'm sure of it. I'm 1,000% sure of it, because that's just who I am. All right. We're going to talk about some stuff today. This, again, is geared towards those of us that run home-based businesses or small businesses, or those that are thinking about running and operating a small business. So let's talk. And I want to get into another thing here. Later in the hour, we are going to be joined by somebody who was on our show just a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to check in on his progress. I said that we would do that, and we are going to do that later this evening. So without much more ado, let's talk about what we do at tsellers.com and what it means to you as a business owner, what it means to you if you're not a business owner. Maybe you are a job seeker. We can help you. Maybe you're looking for another side thing to do some sales in. I can help you with that. Maybe you want to go and do something, a little side gig, a little side business. We can help you with that as well. So let's start with one. Let's start with business owners. What is it that we do? tsellers.com is a lot of things, but at its core, we are a lead generation company. So how do we go about producing leads? Now, I've been in business for a few years, 5 years at the end of this year for my first business. And I know, as many of us know, when we first get out of the gate and open our door, put that shingle out and say, I'm in business, we start with cold calling and networking and all those kinds of things. None of those are bad. I'm not here to bounce on either one of them. What I am here to say is that we do things with a little bit easier. we don't spend any time cold calling. I haven't made a cold call personally for myself or any other business in a bit over 2 years now. So how do we do it? Well, we have a multitude of different ways, but I'm going to cover just a few of them. So we create landing pages with contact pages attached to them. What is a landing page good for? Well, a landing page is good for getting a message out, a compelling message, a compelling story, a compelling offer. Something that somebody says, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I would like to have a conversation about this. Hence, they go over to the other side, which is the contact page. It may be an application page. Let's say that you're looking to hire somebody. I'm always hiring people, and I have an ad out for job seekers with an application attached to it. So what is good about that? Well, if you get your message out on a landing page, whether you put it on Facebook, whether you put it on LinkedIn, whether you put it on Craigslist, wherever you want to put it, Indeed, you name it. You start with what it is they are looking for. In the case of a job seeker, well, they're looking for a job. Perhaps they'd like to have some different alternatives, which is what we provide. They see it, they show interest, they fill out an application or they fill out a contact page with the expectation of us getting in touch with them. If we don't, we've wasted our time putting it out in the first place. So what else is important about that? Well, I can tell you from experience that my company right now has a list of over 9,000 people, an email list. Now, why is that important? If you have more than one offering, do you not owe it to those people who have talked with you, trusted you, answered your ad, to give them those opportunities as well? Well, yes, that's from their standpoint, and from our standpoint is this. Perhaps the customer does not, at the time, he's looking at what we're offering first. Maybe it's not for him or her. Perhaps the next thing I send out is what's something they're looking for. I'll give you an example. So let's say that I put an ad out, and I put an ad out for help. So I put a job app out. We can do these things. They pay this much, or you can get involved with our business growing product. Let's say that person you have a conversation with, the conversation goes well. It's just that is not the right time for them right now. They are better off if we can help them with a full-time job or a new job, and we can do that. And by the way, we get paid to do that by the people who are posting those jobs. I'll come back to that in a minute. So let's say that they say, you know what, we love what you're doing, Tom, but this is just not the time for us to open a business. Fair enough. Well, listen, would you mind if from time to time I sent you out some offers? I have a lot of companies that I do lead generation for with a lot of really cool stuff that can save you a lot of money. Are you interested? Well, sure. Why wouldn't I be? Exactly. So that same person who maybe was not interested in anything other than an hourly type of job, which we help them get, and I send them an email from audiobooks, for example. Audiobook says, go in, pick out two audiobooks. Those are free. If you stay with the service, we'll charge you monthly and you can keep doing it. If not, then you just cancel. Well, that pays me to put that email out with that advertisement. I think that pays me $15 or $20. So the theme I'm going to keep going to here, you should pick up, is building a list is imperative. So I just spoke with, and there is Frank on vacation. Frank, how are you, sir? Hope you and Christina and everybody are having a great week. So I talked about landing pages and the importance of building an email list. What are other ways that we generate leads for other companies or ourselves? We do blogging and we do podcasting. This is one of 2 podcasts that I do, and I've got a third one on the drawing board right now. Well, why do those produce leads? Well, here's the thing. Everybody has a certain thing that they are interested in, a certain thing they are drawn to. May not have anything to do with work, may not have anything to do with just something they're interested in. Somebody could do very well with a golf podcast. Not me, because I'm not that good. I am the wrong guy to learn from. However, there are guys out there that have golf podcasts that are doing very well at it. Same thing with blogging. There are a lot of golf blogs out there. I know, because I try desperately to improve my game. Anyway, if there's an interest out there, if there is something you are interested in learning more about, there is a blog or a podcast out there. I promise you. We're going to talk to a fellow later on this afternoon who's done just that. I'm teasing you a little bit, I know. Here's the other hint. He was on the show with us a few weeks ago. Back to blogging and podcasting. If you haven't noticed, and I'm sure you probably have, since Corona, I'm going to go on a limb. I haven't looked this number up, but I'm going to go on a limb and say that the number of people that are doing podcasts and or blogging has probably doubled. Gary in Singapore, how are you, sir? Good to see you with us. Well, why is that? Why did so many people turn to that? Well, the first thing is this. We were all at home, right? Many of us still are. So if we're at home, where is everybody that we are looking for? Well, have any of you had to do a Zoom call with your family in order to see them over the internet? Have you had business meetings over a Zoom call over the internet? Have you had, I know guys that have had happy hour on a Zoom call over the internet. You know what the common denominator of all that is? Internet. The reason people have gone to podcasting and blogging is because they know everybody is on the internet. From a business perspective, we know it as well. So what we know as business owners is our customers are now online, which is why we are having all of these, conference calls, these Zoom calls, a lot of marketing groups that I belong to, we're doing Zoom calls as well. So we know that's where our customers are. Now, how this relates to podcasting and blogging is this. Remember I said a minute ago, there is an interest and there is a blog or podcast for virtually everybody. If you don't believe me, look it up. Type in whatever interests you. I don't care what it is. Golf, the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago Blackhawks, people who own Volkswagens. I promise you, you will find a multitude of podcasts and blogs on that subject. Have you ever walked in? Have you ever tried to fix something at your house? And this is me. This is me talking here. It is very true. Many times I find something that is broke, that I'm not sure how to put it back together. First place I go is YouTube. My point in blogging and podcasting is this. Everybody's on the internet. If you want to talk to them, that's where you're going to find them. How does that generate leads? Well, let's talk about that. As you gain a following of people that are following your blog or your podcast, they're subscribing to your YouTube channel, perhaps. Perhaps they have a question about something you've talked about. And if you're smart, you're giving them a way to get a hold of you. If you see the bottom here of the screen, you'll see people can call me at that number. So what ends up happening is those people become tuned into what you're doing. They start knowing when you're going to be showing up. They will go to your YouTube channel or your blog page or whatever way you have of getting it out to them to make sure they didn't miss anything, right? Now, how do you monetize this traffic? Well, you begin by building that list that we've talked about a minute or so ago. So let's say that you have a podcast channel that makes new widgets. Got 14 different new widgets. Somebody says, "Man, I'd like to have one of those. I don't have time to make it. Would you sell me one?" Now you've just monetized. Now with that list that you are growing, you're going to get very little resistance of people giving you their name and email address for you to send them a newsletter or send them your weekly or monthly specials. Maybe that widget they like, you have on sale today. They should know about that. As you move on, you can move to other things, and I'll get into those in a second. So that's how you generate leads from blogging and podcasting. What else? Where else do we generate leads from? Well, we do bulk texting and bulk email. Great, Tom. What's that? Well, bulk texting is exactly what it sounds like. You can put together a message, and it's texted. I can send it to 100 people or 10,000 people at a shot if I want to. Why is the text so good? How far away from I'm looking for mine. I must leave mine upstairs, which never happens. How far away from you are you from your phone right now? The average person isn't more than arm's length away. When that text rings, at the very least, you look at it to see what it is, right? The vast majority, especially if you have a well-worded text, are going to click on it, which is why conversion rates on texting are so much higher than almost anything else. So now you've put a good text message out. You've got people that you've driven from that text message to a landing page or to your website, wherever you want them to go. And out of that 1,000, 10,000, whatever the number is, pick a number. You're going to have a percentage of them. They're going to say, widget shopping is what I'm doing. You've got a widget channel. I can learn how to sell widgets, make widgets even. You're going to get a certain percentage of them that are going to join your channel. They're going to be added to your email list. Would you agree with me that you now have a lead? I would. I do it every day. Bulk email works much the same way. You have more to work with in terms of how many words you can use, but you also have a substantially lower open rate. Let's face it, I just got done saying that we're all on the internet, right? Has anybody noticed in the past couple of months how many more emails you get than normal? A lot of people are saying, if I don't know who it is, I don't open it. Okay, I understand that. But it's still effective. It's more effective, in my opinion, when you have a list already. So I'd mentioned I have a list of over 9,000 people. I'm probably not going to cold email from a list. These people have already opted in. They already said we've had a conversation. They want to have a conversation. For whatever reason, they ended up with a contact form saying, yes, let's talk. Those are people I'm going to send those other offers to. And again, I said I'd come back to that, and I will. Where else can we derive leads from? Well, a web page, of course. But a web page has to be more than it used to be. You can't just say, hey, I'm Tom, I sell widgets, and the floodgates are going to open. They're not. You got to have some good content on there. You got to have some good offers on there. And bigger than that, you have to have a contact page. You want people to engage with you, even if it's just by email. That's okay. So where else can you get them? Groups. Huh? You mean groups? You mean like the marketing groups? Well, sure. You know, if you are opening up a business, if you are just getting started, if you just said, hey, you know what? I've got kind of a cool idea. I don't know how big an audience I'm going to have, but I'm sure I'm going to have an audience. If you've done that, if you've opened a YouTube channel, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to Facebook. You want to open up a page for that new business. I'm going to talk to somebody about that in just a minute. There's my second tease. And then you want to go in and you want to start some groups. So let's say you're selling widgets. So now you've made yourself a Facebook business page for your widget company. And now you want to open up a group for people who love widgets. And then you want to invite everybody to be part of your widget loving group, right? Why do you do that? Well, if you open it and you throw some content out, you're going to get people who have joined that widget loving group to start talking about it, right? You're going to monitor it from time to time, and you're going to add some comments. Now, this is not where you're selling anything. This is not about selling at this point. This is about being involved in a group that you are growing. Now, if somebody says, how do I do this, or how do I do that, or can I get my hands on that particular widget? Well, you're the widget guy. It's your group. Yeah, I don't know if this will help you or not, but I've got this thing. Why don't you take a peek at it? Right? It's all social, but it's another place to derive leads from and build your list. These are the kinds of things that we do on a daily basis to generate leads for ourselves and for other companies. Let me bring up another one. There's a lot of companies out, a lot of people out there that are in the insurance world, the real estate world, the mortgage banking world, and the automobile world. Now, I spent a year or 3 in the automobile world, 30 of them to be exact. And one of the things that I know is true of them, as well as the others I previously mentioned, is they will buy leads from a third-party vendor. Well, what does that mean? That means there are other lead generation companies out there that that harvest leads for a particular industry, cars, insurance, real estate, what have you. And then what they do is they go out and they market the sale of these new leads. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey, and I learned this from experience. So, ABC Automotive Lead Company has just run a marketing campaign in Des Moines, Iowa. Now, this is all stuff that I'm just using an example. So if you have an automotive lead company, don't start screaming at me. So they run this campaign in Des Moines, and they get around 200 leads. Great. And let's say that those leads were for Ford. Great. So now the salesman for this company goes out and talks to all the Ford dealers in Des Moines. Hey, I got 225 brand new leads. Just mind them. They are ready to go. I'll sell them to you for $1,000, $2,000, whatever. Pick a number. It doesn't matter. And the guy at the first Ford dealer says, yep, let me have them. Guy goes down the street to the next Ford dealer, because that's how close together Ford dealers are anyway. Says the same thing. Guy says, yep, here's my check. Before you know it, this salesman has sold these same 225 leads to 30 dealerships. Now, the guys who are actually going to work those leads begin in the internet department, and they start making contact. By contact, I mean they call them. And the guy who was the 6th guy who bought these leads, here's this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is Tom over at ABC Ford. I understand you're in the market for a Ford. You are the 6th guy to call me today. Don't bother me again. Click. So that internet guy who's made 3 or 4 or 5 of those calls and have heard the same response goes directly into the guy who bought the leads and said, why would you buy this stuff? Everybody has already been called on this list by other dealers. Right there, folks, is an opportunity. This is an opportunity that tsellers.com takes advantage of. Because when I go, and my company goes, to develop leads for a company, whether it's auto, insurance, real estate, mortgage brokers, it doesn't matter. I'm going to run the same type of campaign. I'm going to mine the same kind of leads. The difference is I'm only selling them to one company. Well, why is that, Tom? First thing is, nobody's going to call me and say I was the 5th guy to call. I want my money back. Or Call me any number of names that I have to this point not been called in my life. Either way, I don't want it. Here's two things that come as a result of that. The leads are fresher. The leads have not been called yet. There are going to be some sales within those leads. And guess who's going to get a call as soon as they're done working those leads? Guess who they're not calling again? The other guy. So is there another advantage to it? Yeah, probably so. I could probably charge a higher price if I wanted to. I don't, because I would rather have fewer clients that are happy than try to sell the same leads to everybody and have to hide. So that's my soapbox on those lead generation for those particular industries. The last thing I'm going to talk about on what it is we do and how we do it is the list. If I haven't made enough of an impact on you yet as far as a list and the necessity of a list, let me enlighten you a little bit. Have you ever, as a business owner or a salesperson, got up in the morning and scratched your head and like, who am I going to talk to today? Now, obviously, I'm talking to you that are in outside sales or business owners. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I have no idea? Here's what a list will do to change that for you. They've already contacted us. They've already talked. They already decided they want to talk to us. We now have somebody to talk to every single day of the week. Here's another thing. One of the things that is involved in the program that I work with is referral marketing partners. And when I say referral marketing partners, I'm literally talking about hundreds of them. I mentioned audiobooks a little bit ago. That is a referral marketing partner. Therefore, what I'm telling you is the list that I spoke of over 9,000 people, if I chose to, I wouldn't do this because people would drop off of my list, but I could literally send an email to 9,000 people every single day with a new lead, with a new offer on it for the next 100 to 200 days. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means this. Those people who look at what the offer is and decide it's for them. And the vast majority of things that I have are giveaways. I'm literally getting paid to give stuff away. If you want to know how that works, call me. So people say, yeah, I can use that free toothbrush or that free 30-day supply of vitamins or whatever it is. If I send out 1,000 of them and I get 40% that grab on one of these little offers that pay me $15 or $20, is it worth it for a day? I would say probably so, and I think you'd agree with me. So we have, listen to me, I have already talked away half an hour. Who'd have thunk? Let me put one of our sponsors on. Let's get this commercial out of the way, and I will be back in 30 seconds. Hey, it's Tom with 24/7 Credit Funding. Business owners, let me ask you a question. How's your credit? Not your personal credit, your business credit. You don't know? Well, did you know that with business credit, you can keep your business accounts out of your name? You can finance company vehicles in your company name? You can have access to better rates and terms for business loans, as well as raise the value of your company when you're ready to sell. Call us at 24/7 Credit Funding, 708-541. Alrighty, I am back. I know the guy who runs that company is a pretty straight shooter. If your company is in need of corporate credit, if you're in a position where you want to separate your personal from your business credit, if you're in a position where you have a ton of business debt wrapped up in your personal credit, give me a call, 608-618-1591. Let's talk it over. Maybe we can help. So I left with the way that we generate leads for businesses. And I'm going to spend just 2 minutes because I've got somebody waiting in the green room I really want to bring out here and talk with him. But let's talk about how this can help people who are not business owners. If you are a salesperson and you're looking for additional sales work, I'm hiring. All those things that you just heard me talk about, I can help you use, and you can make yourself a very nice commission. I generally work with between 10 and 20 salespeople across the country every single year. And the vast majority of them start out that way, and then they end up doing what I'm doing. So let me take that to the next thing. What if you said, you know what, I'm at home anyway, or I'm home more than I want to be, or I have taken a drastic cut in my income. I need to do something for me. I need to do something where I can make my own money because I'm worth more than sitting here waiting for something to change. I can help put you in business. I can give you the tools that I just got done speaking of, not only give them to you, but teach you how to use them to make yourself profitable. What does that mean? Well, that means exactly what I just said. I train people across the country how to use this platform. I literally spend hours every week with folks across the country teaching them how to use what I just got done outlining for you all. The people have asked me, my wife said, well, you're always helping people on there, and that's what we do. And the honest answer, she's like, well, why so much? People have said this, I'm sure. I'm not the first one to say this, but I'll tell you, this is why I do it and what I live by. I literally teach people how to use this in the hopes that they will get better at it than me. And so far this year, I have been successful with one person who was also on the show a couple of months back. She and I got started, and she has literally walked the walk, talked the talk, and it just made insane money using the tools that I help teach her how to use. So she is somebody who has helped me meet that goal of teaching what I teach for somebody to get much better at it than me. So those are the ways that we can help you if you are in one of those categories. Let's say you're in another category. That category is, I just need a job, Tom. I just need something that pays me an hourly wage because my job changed, my job moved, my job went, whatever it is. Call me. I can help you with that too. All right. I'm going to bring in somebody who I got to tell you, he was on the show a few weeks ago. I don't recall, 4, 5, 6, I don't know. But he came in and he said, you know, I want to try some of the stuff that you're talking about. And I got to tell you, I'm as proud of this guy as if he was my little kid, because he literally listened to what I told him to do. He's been doing it. And you know what? Let's just bring him in. Let's just bring him in. Let him tell his story. For those who don't remember or weren't with us on that show, let me bring in my friend Drew Lewis. Drew, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. How are you, Tom?
I am doing great. Do me a favor. I'm going to ask you some questions, but before I do, tell us what you've been up to the last several weeks.
Oh, man, I've been.
By the way.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I've been super busy. I'm trying to grow this brand here, Random Trades. But yeah, no, I actually came after talking to Tom. I came up with this. I'm trying to figure out. So I got tired of, if I'm looking to do something, if I'm looking for instruction of any kind, and I go to YouTube or any other platform looking for this information, sometimes you get Johnny A that tells you how to do it this way. Johnny C likes to do it this way. Sally Joe likes to do it that way. And sometimes you like the way that person talks versus the way that person shows you, or maybe just depends on what you're looking for. So I came up with this idea of, what if, and I love doing a little bit of everything, a jack of all trades, if you will, and I love learning and tinkering with all kinds of things. So what if I could come up with a brand and or a spot, Random Trades on YouTube or wherever, that when they see that logo or see this logo, sorry, wrong side, mirrored. Anyways, that they would see that and they would be like, hey, I know I could go there. There's a good chance what I'm looking for, he's going to have, because he likes to dabble in all sorts of things. So, and that's pretty much what I've been trying to focus on now is everything I'm doing, try to video it, how to, this and that. We're going to learn together, try this and post it on YouTube and hope for the best. And with Tom's guidance, I've already surpassed my first initial goals. I thought for sure, I was just wanting to get 10, 15 subscribers. I think I'd be awesome. And I've only been doing it for 3-4 weeks. I'm at 41 already. I'm like, to me, that's just mind boggling. So, I mean, I really appreciate all the help. I mean, you're pointing me in all the right directions and following everything. And now I have its own Facebook page, its own brand has its own Facebook page, have its own logo, its own number, everything. It's just blowing my mind, the progression. Very cool.
And just so you know, it's only mirrored on your side. We're seeing the RT logo just the way it's spelled. It's drilled out. Oh, gotcha. So I don't want to talk about how much because that's not what we do here. But answer me this question. Has this endeavor made you any money yet?
Yes, already. I'm actually quite surprised about that too. Yeah, I wanted the long-term goal to be able to sell products as well. Things that I made, coasters, with business cards and such in them. I thought I love the idea of, and I'm editing a video now. You'll have to go on and check it out later on. I'm actually kind of impressed about this one, but people who drink any kind, fruit juice or anything, like to have coasters if they're on wherever. And I put a couple magnets on the back in the resin and hook it to your fridge. So also, I need a drink of something. Just grab it right off the fridge and bam, there you go. So, and you can be business cards, all kinds of cool stuff. So like I said, I've had people reach out and say, hey, how much? And okay, no problem. And go that route. Next thing you know, what I was thinking they would want 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. No, they want a 6-pack of them. They want a whole package. Or I just had done packing up a box of 25 of them for Lady in Wakanda. So, I mean, like I said, it's going along pretty well. I'm quite impressed.
So if I'm following you correctly, and correct me if I am wrong, you went from a concept to a little bit of how to, pointing you in a direction, and in 3 weeks you're already making money.
Yes. Like I said, I would never in a million years thought it would have been. Not saying it was simple. It's a lot of work. But I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy dabbling in all kinds of. Mine is a filing cabinet. I just want to keep filling it up. So to me, learning every day, I have no problem investing as much time and effort as it needed to get there, just because it's every step of the way is interesting. So yes, to answer your question, you put in the time and effort, it pays off. It really does.
Absolutely. So let me ask you another question, because I don't want people walking away from here thinking, this guy's making him a millionaire already. You're not rich yet, right?
No. Far from it. Far from it.
All right. I just want to make.
Yes.
I don't want people jumping out and saying, "Oh, this Tom guy's going to make rich in 3." No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
However, what he just said is the answer. You have to put in some work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn some new skills. If you get new skills that you can monetize, you learn them. And then you apply them. And from the standpoint of Drew, I said, here, let's try this. He did this. I said, let's try this. He did this. And I remember when he called me, he's like, somebody just paid me for coasters. I'm like, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So things are going along, progressing nicely. I know you have a YouTube channel.
Correct.
You've got a Facebook page like we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
I know we put together a landing page. I went in and checked the stats on it a little bit ago, and that thing's only been out about an hour. You already had 5 people fill it out.
Rock on.
So these are the things that are lead generators. Now, what's your next move, Drew?
My next move actually is to take advantage of this lead generation. As soon as you brought that up, the way I'm doing this YouTube channel is it's called Random Trade. So I don't think it's ever going to get to a point where I'm going to plateau and be like, oh, I don't know what I can and can't do, because unless I've done everything out there, which I'm not going to my entire life, never going to happen. But unless I've run its course, then I haven't done it all or done enough. So this lead generation is going to help point me in the direction because I have you put on a question of what would you like to see or do, because I have a bunch of projects already in mind that I'm really excited to get over to do, and with the help of this lead generation to say, hey, obviously there are people that are already vested, they've already took the time, they're already looking for more, and now they are able to give their 2 cents as to, hey, this is where I'd like you to take this, or this is what I want to see, or I want to make, or I want from you. And then I can take advantage of that and follow exactly what they want to do. Cause I'm all about helping and pleasing. That's why, like I said, I go to YouTube looking for something, and there's 50 million people with 50 million answers. And I like to have one place to say, hey, he's probably seen it, done it, touched it, fiddled with it, messed with it. I like his demeanor. I like something about his specific brand. I'm going to listen to the way he did it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this lead generation, see how that goes through, and then follow it that way, and and just grow. I'm looking to grow.
Well, let me ask you another question, because I know there's people right now thinking, oh, Tom sold him this program and he's bringing them on. How much money have you paid tsellers.com? Exactly.
Zero.
Okay. And you've made money just on some of my advice, which is
correct.
Which is perfect. Now, down the road, as things grow, maybe you will become a tsellers.com customer. Who knows? But you got here just on a couple of directions being set.
Correct.
So let me ask you, for those people out there who, however long ago it was on, hey, Chad Lewis, how are you, sir?
That's my brother. How you doing, Chad?
So those people that are right now, you know what? Let me step back 1 second, because it kind of goes to what I was talking about earlier in the hour. And I said, if you have an interest in something, there's an audience for it. So, Drew, you're not into insurance.
Nope.
You don't sell cars.
Nope.
What is it that your channel does?
Well, like I said, I want to do a bunch of how-to of practically everything. So that's gonna, so far, what I have, give you a general what I got going on. I got videos from how to do some car repairs, how to do projects with resin, all kinds of stuff, how to do dabbling in metal forging. I want to get on there woodworking, which is coming up soon. The next 3 or 4 days should have some woodworking ones on there. And like I said, it's going to be a general how-to dabbling, everything from hobby to trades to plumbing to, I mean, you name it. It's going to be a, oh man, if I was only knew how to do this myself, I won't have to pay EB gobs of money to someone else to do it. And I don't want some guys from, main big brand to then sit down and explain it to me step by step and then look for a dime. No, I want someone to be able to look at me and look at the page, look at the brand and say, hey, this is your average Joe that is trying to do the same thing I am afraid to do, and he was willing to take the step and do it. I want to see how he does it because I feel like I'm relatable.
Right.
So yeah.
So you have opened up what I would call a niche market.
Yep.
You have particular people with particular interest that are checking out your content, and that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
The world has it that if you have if you have a market that includes about 1 million people, you only need 1% of that to be successful.
Correct.
It seems like a simple formula, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, way too simple. It's one of those too good to be true kind of moments. Yeah.
Right. So, in closing, I'm going to ask you one more question, Drew.
Sure.
So I know I talked to you well before we had you on the show, and we've had some conversations about various things. And at some point, you made a decision and say, you know what, I'm just going to jump in and do it. What advice would you give to somebody who was in your shoes 3 weeks ago?
Man, the best advice I could give is literally just take a deep breath and jump in the whole body. Just dive into it. You're gonna fail. There's no doubt about it. But at the same point, you're gonna succeed, and the success is gonna way outweigh the failure. I've already, like, just using my videos, for example, there's a couple videos I put on, epic failure. I tried something, it did not work out. Now, I could have taken the avenue of, oh man, this didn't work, it's not good footage. That's the problem. I mean, real mindset is, I've actually had a lot of people already comment and tell me, we love seeing the failure because it makes you more relatable and it's more realistic. So fine. I mean, if you want to see my failure, I'm not necessarily, thrilled with it, but if you want to see it, fine. Well, I mean, we can go on this journey together. So, like I said, 3 weeks ago to jump into this, absolutely. If you have a mind, you have a plan, you want to do it, and you're more than willing to put in the work, just jump head into it. You will figure it along the way. There's plenty of people like Tom himself who will absolutely walk yourself through this, and it's a very fun journey. It's very fun. You'll learn all kinds of things. 3 weeks ago, half the stuff he was telling me, I was pretty sure it was hieroglyphics. He was making it up as he was going along. But as I'm going along, I'm realizing, wow, that actually makes sense. Oh, wow, that's what that means. And yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Well, like I say, I know I've seen your channel. I've seen some of your videos. I even have some of your some of the products that you make. And the thing about you that is going to catapult you into this thing. Now, again, that doesn't mean you got to work less hard. You have to work as hard.
Exactly.
And as you go along, you'll actually end up having to work harder. But the thing that's going to get people attracted to what you're doing is you're relatable. And you just said right then and there, I'm not afraid to make a mistake. A lot of times you get on various stations and various web pages and podcasts, and it's very glossy. It's very polished and refined. Anybody who watches me knows that I'm neither of those things. I just kind of tell it like it is. And that's what people are looking for more now, I think, than anything. We've got enough glitz and shine out there to last 100 lifetimes, and behind it is very little substance. When you can be relatable and add substance, you got two things going that many others don't.
Thanks.
So from my perspective, I'm as proud of what Drew is doing as some of my other, I don't want to call them students because that makes them sound like kids. But the people,
I'll take that. I'll take that role.
So, to wrap this all up, because I do have a meeting I've got to get to at 8:00, so we're going to shut this down about 5 till 8. To wrap around everything we've talked about today, from the standpoint of a business owner with tsellers.com, we can do a couple of things for you. We can help you with lead generation. We can actually do it for you. We can charge you for us just to do it. I can sell you the package and teach you how to do it for yourself. In fact, I had a customer last year. It was kind of funny. He came on. He says, "Hey, can you help me do this and help me do that?" And he did, and I did, and he paid me. And we were coming up on the third or fourth month, and I was expecting he was just going to say, "Yeah, go ahead and do it again." But I said, "Listen, out of curiosity, I can do this for you every month if you want. That's fine. I can use the business, or I could sell you the whole program and show you how to use it, and then you don't pay me nothing anymore." He's like, that makes sense. That's what he did. So that's what we can do for a business owner. If you are in sales or marketing and looking for a job or a second job or something you can do in your spare time, I'm hiring. Talk to me. Give me a call, 608-618-1591. If you are somebody who wants to start a business like my friend Drew here, I can help you do that too. Same phone number. And if you are somebody who has lost your regular job through the course of this whole pandemic thing and is looking for an hourly job someplace, whether that be in an office or a warehouse or what have you, I have help. I can help you. Give me a call. We'll get you going. So the bottom line of what I'm saying is tsellers.com is here to help you in one capacity or another. You tell us where you need some help or where you would like some help, and then we will accommodate if we can, of course. So that is my ranting and raving for the night. Drew, anything that you would like to say before we close this thing down?
Sure thing. Yeah, all I'd like to say is if you have any dream, wish, idea in your mind, just do not be afraid to fail. That's going to be the one thing that's going to hold you back. Embrace the failure and just know there's someone out there that's going to want to see you fail and make you more relatable to say, hey, if he can fail and do what he's doing, I can fail too and get there as well. So just jump in.
Absolutely. And my closing argument to that is something I posted a couple of days ago. If you make a decision that you want to do something and it's going to require you learning something new to do it, and you're sitting there and you're trying to figure it out and you're telling yourself this is too hard, I can't learn it, I want you to think back to that one time when you learned how to ride a bicycle. I'm Tom Sellers. This is Our 2 Cents. We have no coin shortage here, folks. Thanks for joining us.